Would you please stand for a prayer from DAV Chaplain Manny DeSordi?
Dear God, we remember and memorialize the brave military heroes who were attacked by a Japanese offensive on December 7, 1941, 82 years ago at Pearl Harbor, Hawaii. And with your intercession from our prayers, on the day of infamy, the forces of evil were defeated. Amen.
Thank you, sir. Go ahead and please be seated. Thank you so much. But there's a connection here with North Attleboro. If you haven't seen this, and I think everybody in this room has seen the display around the corner, but these photos were from a gentleman named Ed Roast. Photos and clippings that he compiled over the years. Ed was a sailor and he served in the Pacific during World War II. So what led to the attack on Pearl Harbor has been studied intensely. So the attack was to be a deterrent to keep the United States out of its military actions in the Pacific. So this deterrent in this large base that held the entire Pacific Fleet, essentially, was a great target. And of course, less than 4 years after this day of infamy, Japan would surrender following the atomic obliteration of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. In the wake of the attack, 15 Medals of Honor, 51 Navy Crosses, 53 Silver Stars, 4 Marine Corps medals, 1 Distinguished Flying Cross, 4 Distinguished Service Crosses, 1 Distinguished Service Medal, and 3 Bronze Star medals were awarded to the American servicemen who distinguished themselves in combat at Pearl Harbor. I want to talk about one gentleman. His name was Doris Miller, Dory Miller. Dory was a cook. He was an African American, probably why he was a cook. During the attack, sprinted to the quarterdeck and used his big frame. I mean, it's a big fella, heavyweight. He helped move the injured. So here's a cook. He runs out of the galley and starts helping, saving lives. And then he was passing 50 cal ammo to the gunners on the ship, and eventually manned one himself, and he continued to man that gun until he was ordered to get off the ship. His actions earned him the Navy Cross, the first African American ever to earn that. And if he wasn't African American, he might have just earned the Medal of Honor. When the uniform goes on, those prejudices tend to fade, and we all fight together. Unfortunately, he perished a couple of years later when his escort carrier, the Liscum Bay, was torpedoed by a Japanese submarine during the Battle of Makin in the Gilbert Islands. But it was men like him and thousands of other sailors, Marines, and soldiers at Pearl who responded to this horrific attack with the courage and conviction that is distinctly American. And today, the Navy is honoring the popular slogan, Remember Pearl Harbor, by naming 3 submarines and an aircraft carrier after 3 of the stricken ships, the Utah, the Oklahoma, and of course the Arizona. Take some time to look at some of our slides. I've got pictures just like that. Imagine yourself being a sailor, and that was your home 2 hours ago. Pictures that Mr. Roast took are as moving as that. But picture now being the photographer. Picture the one behind the lens. And the smoke, and the noise, the fumes, the screams of what was going on that day and how it changed our nation and the world forever.